This video is presented to you by American Football Monthly, the #1 magazine for the football industry. Subscribe to American Football Monthly today, and you'll receive exclusive coaching information from the game's greatest coaches and programs. Learn how successful coaches have built championship programs as they share their wisdom in exclusive articles. Discover a wealth of strategy and detail in our offensive, defensive, and special teams articles. Subscribe today, and you'll receive unlimited access to AmericanFootballMonthly.com, the internet's largest collection of football coaching articles. To subscribe, log on to www.AmericanFootballMonthly.com or call 1-800-537-4271.
Hello, I'm Burt Williams, the head coach and athletic director at Georgia Military College, and we're here today clinicking with you on film on our 3-5-3 defense, and we're going to talk about defending the spread offensive attack. One thing, in the 3 years we've employed the 3-5-3, we've been attacked a lot of different ways by a lot of our opponents, and one that we have increasingly seen the last couple of years, especially as we've played some more teams out west, is a spread attack, 3-4 wide receiver sets, and this has been an offense that our defense has really had a fairly easy adjustment to, basic skill-wise, and adjustment to with our personnel, and also it's been a good mix for us, and we've had a lot of success with it. One thing I'm real proud of our defense, we've been 3 years into it, as I said, and within those 3 years, we've led the nation in total defense twice, and we're third the other year, and we've created 94 turnovers in 3 years. So this has been a great defense for it. We've had great success with it. Developed 8 All-Americans in that same time frame with this defense, the National Defensive Player of the Year, and also the Lee Plarski Award winner. So the great thing about this is that we're developing, some great players and putting them in a scheme that will allow them a lot of success and be able to stop whatever our opponents put against us. And as we get into it today, we'll show you just what we do against the spread offense. All right, we have a couple of points of emphasis, that we teach our defense, and we're getting ready to defend against the spread offense. One, and it sounds kind of basic, is know your responsibility. Obviously, you can't execute the defense, the pressure, the coverages, and all if you don't know your responsibility and are not able to communicate it to others. The other thing we want to be able to do is you've got to find ways to apply pressure against the spread offense. We don't want that quarterback back there sitting on his heels, picking a receiver, having all the time in the world. So we look for ways to apply pressure to the spread offense. Another thing we want to do on our defense is teach our guys to become great man covers. We're going to have players that are not used to playing man coverage. Our linebackers, are going to have to do that, our backs, from time to time. So that's something that we teach our guys to become as good a man cover as you possibly can, because there's going to be points at which you're going to have to do that in the scheme. Hopefully not for a very long time if the pressure's getting there. But those are the 3 main points of emphasis that we're going to talk about today as we talk about how we like to defend the spread offense. Okay, getting back to knowing your coverage assignments, obviously it sounds very basic as you're out there. Well, of course, I'm going to make sure our guys know the coverage assignments, but against a spread offense, it can become a little more tricky as you get 3 and 4 wide sets. You've got guys motioning back and forth. A lot of times you go no huddle, and we're going to change the looks of things and do some different things to kind of keep an offense, back on its heels, not quite sure where we're coming from. So it's very important for our guys to know exactly what they have, know what our adjustments are, and be able to do that quickly and with a high level of skill. So that's one thing in particular we really want to emphasize with these guys. And again, with the motion, the change of formations from doubles to trips, or quads even from time to time, that these guys must know how to adjust, to put themselves in the right place for this defense to be successful. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to get in briefly, the two coverages we're in probably 90% of the time, which is a 3-deep zone and a man-free type of coverage. So we're in that about 90% of the time, and obviously we're going to get into a straight man based on people's offensive sets at time to time. But those are the two main ones that we're going to talk about today, and we're going to go over the rules for that right now. I'm just going to draw up our base assignments to cover 3. It's probably pretty standard with most of you out there. Draw it to a spread attack right here. Personnel, obviously ends and nose up front. Left bat, right bat, Mike. Got our 2 dogs, 2 corners, and our free. And obviously in cover 3, corners we're going to have deep third, free middle third on either side. These dogs are going to be dropping hook to flat. Our bat's going to be dropping on either side, hook to curl, Mike in the middle hole. And that's a standard cover 3 drop for, probably pretty much everybody out there. We don't do things a whole lot different, and we try to keep it as simple as possible for these guys so they're able to process it mentally and react quickly when we need to. We're not in cover 3 a whole lot, but we're in it enough, obviously, to know what we need to do. But 3 and man free are big ones now. Motion into trips won't be a big adjustment for us necessarily. We're going to widen it a little bit on our drops on the inside, but if we come out to a trip set in cover 3, corner's still going to be out here. Head up, he's still got his deep third. Dog's going to expand to number 2, be on his inside number. He's still got hook to flat, curl to flat right here. And our bat's going to have to bounce out. He's going to have to align just inside the inside leg of number 3, and he's got hook to curl right through here. Now, our Mike's going to take what we call a cheat drop. Basically, his middle hole is expanded because we've gotten the trips right here. So he's going to, instead of coming straight back, he's going to cheat to the hole out here, and our backside bat is going to cheat to the middle hole. We've still got our same coverage back over here with our dog in our corner in cover 3. And obviously the free will probably cheat a little bit, reading the quarterback as he gets over the top of the 3 wide receiver side, because most people are going to look to hit that. Obviously, when you get to trips, you're trying to get to something you want to do. So he's still got that middle third, but he will cheat a little bit over there. And now we're going to go into our cover 1, or man free, which is our most prevalent coverage, because we almost always are bringing some form of pressure. Again, we've got our ends and nose up front, and our linebackers in here, which are the guys we bring most of our pressure with in here. Dogs and corners on each side. Now in man free, opposite free is going to stay in the deep middle. Right here, staying deeper than the deepest man. Our corners are responsible for number 1. They're going to man cover first receiver, number 1, outside in. Our dog's going to be responsible for number 2. Okay. Our bats are going to be responsible, whichever one's not blitzing, is going to be responsible for banjo in the back. So for instance, if we had this bat blitzing, these 2 will banjo the back. Right there, okay? If he's on this side, obviously, we've got him man. He'll read the quarterback if he doesn't have a responsibility right there, which of course can change depending on who we have coming on pressure. But that's our base alignment, base responsibilities in cover 1. Again, the corners have number 1, outside in. Our dogs have number 2, counting outside in. Linebacker is going to banjo, or free is going to be in the middle in the deep middle right there, staying deeper than the deepest man. Now we're going to adjust to trips, whether we have motion across or adjustment across, formation lining up across. Doesn't necessarily have to change us a whole lot. Still corners got number 1, dogs have number 2. Okay? Obviously there's not a number 2 for this dog right here in our base adjustment to trips. Right now we have a possibility of 4 wide receivers over here, so we have to make an adjustment with our free and our backside dog, and we'll talk about this a little bit more later. Okay? If we get 4 possible receivers to a side, the free will walk down right here. He'll take number 3 man. Our bat, not on pressure, we'll take number 4, and we got whatever pressure we're bringing right here. Now I know you're probably sitting there thinking, cover 1 man free, you don't have 1 free. Well, actually we do right here, because we'll spin that dog to middle third. We'll have him on the snap of the ball. He'll be cutting back a little bit on the snap of the ball. He's going to run as fast as he can to get back here and get deep and be a help to us over here, because we rolled that free down and gotten straight man right here. That's one way we will do this. Another way, we can play cover 1 of this, and really this just depends on game plan for us as far as how we want to handle it and who's coming and what kind of pressure we're trying to bring. We can pop that bat out. Go man free like such. We can bring pressure here now, keep him in the deep third. So that's the 2 main ways we handle our adjustments in cover 1 when we get a trips look or we get motion to it. Again, a lot of what we decide to do right here depends on what pressure we're bringing, where it's coming from, and what we're trying to get accomplished in shutting down our opponent's defenses. But those are our 2 main coverages again, and what I know a lot of people probably want to see is, okay, how are you going to match up coverage-wise when you bring pressure? We're well known for bringing pressure in pretty much every situation against pretty much any offense. So we've got a few looks of some of the main blitz packages and pressure packages we have. And we'll talk about how we adjust our coverage responsibilities to it here right after this. As we said, applying pressure from the 3-5-3, that's something we've hung our hat on and something we've been very successful with, over the years that we've been to it, and it is a work in progress. We come up with new ideas, new ways to attack various offenses, including the spread. But pressure is a big part of it, and some of our opponents may disagree, but we rarely send more than 6 people. It sometimes looks like a lot more may be on the way. That's a very important part of the pressure package, is coming up with ways to disguise it with the rotation of the secondary, with your backers' movements, bats, mics, dogs, all those guys. And we work a lot on the best ways to disguise what we're doing to get offenses to adjust and make checks to what we're doing. And we'll even bail a good bit coming out of there, try to trick them into changing a play or changing a protection based on what they see and popping out. And, the threat of pressure a lot of times is just as good as pressure itself. But, one of the main things about applying pressure, again, is knowing exactly where you're supposed to be and running the blitz that is called. We call a blitz to get some type of advantage, or at least what we anticipate being a certain type of advantage. So it's very important for all our players to execute the blitz from bringing the pressure, hitting the right gaps, to covering the right man, obviously, and adjusting that pressure with any motion or trip sets as if it becomes necessary to adjust based on what they're doing. So obviously executing what's called and knowing your responsibility right there is extremely important. We bring the pressure against offenses to create an opportunity for our team and our defense. Obviously, we're not doing it just to do it. We want to stop them. We want to get them backed up. We want to create the opportunity for turnovers. So there's a lot of reasons we do what we do. One thing Additionally, we spend a lot of time game planning the blitz packages each week based on what we see on our opponents. We look to defeat their protection schemes along with their tendencies, and also defeat what type of passing attack team are there. Some spread teams are more of a half roll on the run, getting them on the edge to buy some time. Some are more straight drop back. And we'll see a little bit when we get to our video cut-ups. We'll see a little bit of each. Teams trying to do some different things to get away from the pressure. But obviously we call that blitz with those thoughts in mind. One other thing talked about in our other videos, and it's very important for all our guys to run to the ball. When the quarterback does make a decision to throw the ball, everybody has got to turn and run and get there. We want to get 11 hats around the ball in the closing frame every snap, and we do a great job with that. But part of that pressure, if you don't get there, is making sure you turn and run and trail that play and get there as fast as you can. But right now I'm going to show you all some of our basic pressure packages with our two main coverages and a couple of the adjustments that we have with each of those blitzes if they become necessary with trips and with motion. Before we get into the pressure, I should talk about our dog safety a little bit. And our dog safety is probably the guy that has to be most heads up of all our guys on defense to be able to adjust to what a defense is doing based on what pressure package we're bringing. The dog is a guy that has a lot of duties. He's got to be a good enough athlete to be a man cover guy. He's got to be tough enough to be a blitzer and a run stopper. And he's got to be smart enough to make those adjustments. And based on what we're doing and what our opponent is doing, there's several things a dog might do for us. One thing you saw when I drew up cover one, we had that backside dog spinning to be the middle third ball player. Sometimes if our free has to roll down and be a man cover guy, we're going to ask him to do that, again, in a game plan situation. Sometimes we do have the capability, and in the past we have traveled the dog across the formation with motion to keep that free at home. Probably not something we do a whole lot of, but we do have the capability to do that as well. Sometimes we leave them at home. We're just sitting back there. That way we've got 2-on-1 backside. A lot of people will try to hit a 1-on-1 backside if they're going to get you to a trip, set, or motion. And we've worked ourselves into a couple of interceptions and pass breakups simply because we've had the backside dog stepping down, showing pressure once that inside receiver is left to travel trips on the other side. And he's fallen out and right into the throwing lane and made a big play for us. So, there's several things we can do, and obviously he can also be part of the pressure, part of the blitz over there for us. So you're going to see some different things with our dogs as I draw up these pressures, and so I'll go over a couple of the checks that they have to make based on what we want them to do each and every week. As we talked earlier, there's a couple ways we like to bring pressure against a spread offense. The first way I want to talk about is pressure mainly up the middle, where we're using our bats and our mics to bring pressure, to get some great push in there. And, we'll use this mainly for teams that like to drop back. It's one of the ways, we'll bring pressure up through the middle. Teams that like to drop back. And this is called zoo for us, and we can run zoo several ways. We can run it strong, weak, or zoo blue, which brings all three of our linebackers in there. I'm going to draw up right now what our responsibilities are. When we make a zoo call, the ends know with the zoo call that we're going to push the C gap right here. Make sure we're contained on the outside on either side. The nose is going to pay attention to the strong, weak, or the blue. If we have zoo strong, we're going to make a call to dictate which is the strong or weak side. If we have zoo strong, the nose is going to work away. We would consider this the strong side defensively. For us, our nose would work weak. Zoo strong brings our bat and mic. Bat through the B, mic through the A gap right here, strong. Okay, weak, obviously, would work the other way. Right there on the weak side. Blue brings them all. right through there. So again, and when we go blue, we simply give the Mike gives the nose a call of which way to go. And that's really at his discretion. We don't have a hard, fast rule for that. When we go blue, he's listening for the Mike. Obviously, we can play either cover 1 or cover 3 from back here. If we're going to be 3, obviously, cover 3, excuse me, we're going to be in our deep thirds right here. Curl to flat. Now, obviously, we don't have a hook to curl player through here, so we're going to have to adjust. If they get him out in the route, then we're going to have to adjust back to it on the check down if we're going zoo blue right here. We do strong or weak most of the time, so we would typically bring pressure away from here, and we can go zoo check as well, which we do a lot. We'll bring pressure away from the back, and that allows us, if we're in cover 3 or cover 1, to have this third coverage man over here going hook to curl, and we're in position now to handle a 3-man route very solidly right here. If we have zoo blue again, we're avoiding one guy over there. But that's basically how we'd run zoo if we're going to be cover 3. If we're going to be cover 1 and man free right here, obviously we still going to have our free in the deep middle. We'll get inside alignment right here. He'll take 1, he'll take 2, he'll take 2, he'll take 1, our base cover 1 responsibilities, and linebacker's not coming, has got the back in man coverage right there. So this is a great way to bring pressure on the inside for us right here, and still have everybody locked down covered if we're in cover 1. Again, if we go zoo blue, free's got to be ready to adjust back. Ideally, though, if we execute our blitz, he's not going to have time to do a whole lot, or if he does, it's going to happen awful quick. We're going to be able to see that and come off and make a play right there. But this is how we'd run zoo strong and zoo weak or zoo blue to an even offensive formation right here. We're on doubles both sides. Now it changes a little bit right here if we get to a trip set. As we said before, we go cover 1 right here. Our dog's going to be man on number 2. Now we've got to get a man on number 3 and a possible number 4 right here. When we have the threat of 4, we'll make the call to spin our dog, which he'll do on the snap, and he'll roll down and take number 3 man right here. We're going to be man right there. Dog spin and still give us a man free in the center of the field. Somebody's there to help. We've got man coverage locked down right here on these trips. And we will do that on the run if we get motion to it, or if we've got this called, we line up in the trips formation right here. So that's one way we can handle it. Now, if we do not have a threat of 4, the back set the other way, there's no need to spin. Besides, we have a number 2 threat. He's going to take him man. We still got pressure here. And now we walk our bat out here, splitting the difference. Man receiver on number 3 right here. And we keep our free in the middle of the field right there. Obviously looking, favoring that trip side a little bit, looking to see what's going on right there. If we have zoo, again, this is if we're expecting a lot of trips and doubles, not sure where that back's going to set. Zoo check would be our call, and we'll look to bring pressure, strong or weak right there. Typically, away from that guy. It just depends on how we want to handle it. But that's how we bring zoo. Zoo strong. You can see the nose pushes weak. Ends working outside. Mike and bat hitting it, doing it this time from depth. Mike's a little bit late. He should be starting before that. You can see we've got our dog walk down, man on tight end, and they're tight. Corner falling in. Got our man coverage down here with dog, corner. Freeze back home, staying over the top of everything. Nice job of recognition Right here, you can see our backside bat right here, cutting to the middle. He doesn't have a threat. Nice recognition, coming up, making a play, and it's hard to cover the offensive line too, but we try to do that just in case this happens. And again, running to the ball. You see all these white jerseys around the ball. We've got a chance, even if things do break down or something crazy happens. Now I'll draw up another way we bring pressure up from the inside against teams that like to really drop straight on back in there, and that's our blast call. And that's been a good blitz for us as well. Had a lot of success right there. Again, different looks, different ways to bring all these guys. Like zoo, blast tells our ends, push outside, contain, rush. Okay? Nose is going to work strong, which we consider this side strong. And our bats are going to hit the big gaps. Now, depending on what coverage we're in, we will run this. And we will run zoo, cover 3 as well. We're in good shape right here. If we're in the third, we're curled to flat right here. Okay? Obviously third. He's going middle. He's going to watch right there. If he gets out in the route, he's going to cheat back to it on the cover 3 drop right there. But cover 3, obviously you're going to be a little soft on a quick check down right there, but it's going to have to happen quick, and we're going to be able to react back to it. And we'd much rather give up something short than something than deep right here. It gives us a chance to run and make a play. Don't give them any yards, and we can turn it back to our advantage. We also obviously will play cover 1 or man free to this, which again, going by our rules, corner on 1, dog on 2, right through there. And we've got to have our linebacker. It's not going and covering back in the backfield right there. So again, we go blast 1, would be a huddle call for us right there. Our ends are going to push outside, contain rush right there, and nose is going to work strong A. Bats are going to hit the B gaps right there on the run. Now, on all our pressure packages, we give our linebackers and our dogs the ability to show, to hide, creep. He can align out here, come in on the snap. We simply give them the freedom to do that, to give different looks. And it kind of keeps the offense, again, back on the heels, not sure where they're coming from and how they're getting there. But on the snap, they will have to hit those gaps based on the call. All right, again, on blast is not a the blast is not a blitz that we have to do a whole lot of checking with as far as changing who's blitzing, who's coming, because it's with these inside 3 linebackers here. But if we get motion to trips or alignment to trips right here, then we have to make some adjustments. Obviously, we can make the same adjustments that we made with zoo in this instance. Okay, whoever becomes number 2 with the motion the dog's going to stay on right here would be our most standard adjustment, with the free walking down to take number 3. Linebacker's got number 4 man, and obviously we've got a spin coming back here to get some help in the middle third if we want to have that. Again, this can be a game plan thing for us. If we feel like people are trying to get us to spin there and maybe even try a little option or something, or a little zone back this way, we'll leave him here staying at home and play straight man right here, which we have coverage calls for that as well. And again, that's a week-by-week game plan situation, but this our most basic and a simple thing to do is spin this man right in here for that. Obviously, we have to do that because we've got 4 guys coming now, or the possibility of 4 guys getting out on the route on this side. If the back is set away, again, we can leave him at home, let him take number 2, and now our Mike's got to fall out on the snap take number 3 man. Obviously, he's going to be trailing if this guy gets into the flat quick, but if it's going to be that quick a throw, we feel like these guys are going to see that playing out in front of them, going to be able to react back to it, and he's flying inside out, getting there for the coverage. But that's another way we can handle it. If that's the way we want to do, or again, if we feel like we're going to get a lot of rub and pick over here, we can play straight man, leave him there, and bring him down. We can adjust week to week if we need to put ourselves in the best possible situation. But these are the 2 basic ways that we handle it when we get a motion to trips with this particular piece of pressure. We've got blast 1, which brings both our bats in the B gaps. Ends pressing outside. Here on the pressure, good example of how a linebacker ought to run through a running back, trying to pick him up on the blitz right here. Again, when you're blitzing, you're getting right up under him, throwing off the back foot right there, not being able to put anything hot on the throw. A lot easier for our corners to make plays and adjust it when they've got to throw it up in the air and have him run to a spot. You can see a nice job by our corner right here, adjusting to the ball in flight and making the big play on the interception. The last way I'm going to talk about today that we use our inside guys to bring that main bit of pressure is double buck. Obviously, we can call a single buck, but double buck for us brings both our bats on the outside. In pinches, we will make a pinch call with that. Pinches our ends in the B gap. Nose, again, works strong. Pinch, pinch. We're going to walk our bats up to the line, or we can do it from depth on the run, hitting it. They have the choice to do that. Coming right there. As with Zoo and with Blast, we can play 3 or 1 behind that, especially it's, when it's evened up. Very simple for our guys right here. Much like the drops and all with the Blast right here. We're in our deep thirds right here at corners. Curl the flat in here. He's dropping out, and he'll cheat to the field, or the 3 receivers right there, ready to react back to it. So we can play 3, keep it all in front of us, make them check down quick. Short throw right here, react to it, and make the tackle, line up and play the next one. Or we can also play our man-free coverage, very simply. Going back to our base rules right now, our man-free, corner on 1, dog on 2. Corner on 1, dog on 2. Linebacker's got the back in the backfield man if he gets out on the route. Again, this is a great way to bring pressure, squeeze it inside, something we like if we think draw's coming, possibly because we squeeze it in here. Sometimes rather than have him take it side, we'll game plan it for him to 2-gap right up the middle right there, taking the center straight back and trying to 2-gap with that nose guard right there. Again, that's a week-to-week type of thing and something we work and change based on what we see on film. But this is our double buck package right here. Again, gives us good coverage options. Now, if we get to trips, and as we've seen, whether it be through motion or through alignment, we've got the same adjustments we have to make. Again, if we've got a threat of 4 receivers, we're going to have to roll our free over here and be prepared to take him man right there. Now, we're not going to run him right up on the line. Get up in there, he's going to play off a little bit. Let this play out in front of him, ready to react to it if they check down. Obviously, he's going to have to be man on number 4 now. Okay, and we're going to get this spin help if we make the call again, week to week game plan right there. We also have the option of leaving him at home if we have people trying to check down backside, thinking they got one-on-one and have an advantage. So, those are some of the options we have again with that. But our base check, when he rolls down, bring that dog on the spin if we've got a threat of 4 right here. If we don't have a threat of 4, as before, dog man number 2, we've got to get him out. As that bat walks up, or if he cheats, he may cheat a little bit right here, and he's ready to go on the run to get on out there. Again, as before, we can leave him if we want to go more of a straight man with our secondary. We can roll him down in here, playing man, letting him be a middle hole player right through here as well, just so we do have a guy falling out that's got some extra help with us. So again, we have a lot of options right here how we want to handle this, just based on what we see week to week. We've got a double buck pinch, going to be 2 gapping at nose. Ends taking the B gap. And both our bucks walking on down right here, coming off the edge. Good job. You see a nice break on the ball by our dog up top. And this gets back to what we're talking about. Quarterback not being able to set his feet. Of course, he's trying to set a little screen up right here, but he doesn't have time to adjust. Nice job recognizing, anticipating, another point we made earlier on the board, anticipating what they're going to do. A nice break on the ball, a nice play by our dog right there. Now we're going to talk a little bit how we bring some pressure from the outside using our dogs. We like this when people get on the half roll, do a lot of sprint out package, going 2 trips. We also like it for drop back because typically we're going to get 1 free off the edge. Obviously coming that wide, it's going to take a little bit longer sometimes for him to get there. So there are some things you have to take into account for with that. But this basically when we bring our dog on a blitz, whether it's one of them on the boom that I'm getting ready to show you, or on a double dog, these are blitzes where we have to make adjustments based on motion and trips formations, and we'll go over that as we draw them up right here. But first off, I'm going to start with our boom. The boom call is going to tell our bat and our dog, based on a close or open call, to come off the edge. And what we're basically going to get here is the line slanting to the call. For instance, right here, if we went boom, close, we would consider this our closed side right here. Okay? We're going to slant to the close, take that gap, and we're going to bring the bat and dog behind it. He will walk up or from depth, come, and he's going to be a first level. He's going to cheat and be a second level off the edge. It's real important for these guys to maintain their levels. If they both get upfield too much, it gives a rush lane through there, or if they get any kind of zone or anything coming underneath. It's very important for this guy, this bat, to be our first level guy, and for that dog to be our second level, staying as deep as the deepest hip in the backfield right there. Now, in doubles, obviously, we've got a couple of choices right here. I'm sure you're all sitting here thinking, all right, who's going to cover this guy right there? Well, our easiest choice, and something you've seen before, is for us to bring the free down on the move. We'll play man, lock it up right here. Obviously, ball better be getting out of there pretty quick. Because they're going to have a tough time picking that up right there. Again, this is something we look to do. Bring it off the weak side or boundary side, possibly right here, depending on how, obviously the folk line up. This is something we think would be good, straight drop back for these guys, and also if they have a tendency to roll there. Had a lot of success with the boom, going either way, making that call in the game. Now, another thing that we have to do when we get to trips, and that as a general rule, we were, depending on how good we are out here and how good these guys are, we may want to check to a buck call right here. If we don't want to roll a straight man and we get a situation where we've got double wide receivers on either side, we don't want to bring that dog, make the free roll down and go man right there, then we will a lot of times make a buck check. That just tells him he's alone. Now he's got to stay as deep as the deepest hip in the backfield right there. That's our basic boom right there. That's coming from the closed side. If we went boom open, take it back over here. Basically, closed and open. Closed takes us to the tight end side. If he's on the ball right here, we would consider him the tight end, and that's closed side. This would be the open side, which would be to the X or open receiver side for the most part. Either walking up or from depth. First level, second level. Again, staying deep as the deepest hip in the backfield right there. Obviously, we've got this coming right here. We're going to be man here. We're going to have to roll him down to cover right here to take that man. Again, this is a call. If we're going to field right here, we think they've shown us on film that they like to do a little half roll right here. This is something that we like, make him pull up and hopefully get pressure in his face right here. It's going to have to be quick, and we've got guys rolling down that can cover these receivers man and make something happen. But again, boom has been a great blitz, a lot of success with that for us. Now, going to trips, got some of the same considerations, especially with your buck call, depending on which side, obviously, you're bringing him. If we had we would consider this our closed side. So if we had boom closed, really we're in pretty good shape right here. We're going to slant close, walk up, bring him, first level, second level, right there, okay? As a general rule, we would look to cheat him, man, man, man. If we're going to play cover one, he's got to be there. He's in middle third. Obviously, we could make the decision to roll him down, play straight man, let him be a free guy. And obviously, we'll be locked down back there. Okay, so that's probably the main way we would want to handle it if we're coming the close side right here, is handle it this way with our coverage. That would be our standard right there. Now, if we wanted to bring the boom, or if we had called the boom open and gotten trips or motion to trips, this puts us in a little bit of a situation. It's going to be hard to bring these two and get all these fellas covered. So what we would we'd have to do one of two things right now. If it was with motion and we're getting a lot of motion, again, we could possibly have in the package to have the dog travel, come across with them. Again, that's not a standard thing we do. It's more of a game plan deal for us. But what we would want to do right here is check buck, which is going to leave our dog in, covering right here. Still going to bring him on the blitz. It's going to force our free to come down, taking 3 man. He's got 4. And we'll check the spin backside with our dog to get some help over here. But if we have this trips look, again, especially if you got a threat of 4, but when we have the boom called right there, almost impossible to bring these guys and get any type of sound coverage right here. So we would check that buck, takes him off the blitz, leaves our bat only coming, spin the dog right here to get some help. Give us some pressure still with a good coverage option behind it. Now, obviously, we don't have to play man to this. We can play cover 3. We would still check our buck if we had a cover 3 called right here, or if we want to check to it, Gives us thirds, hook to flat, hook to flat. Now, with the buck going, he knows he's got to cheat, we talked about early, to get over here to this hole. And he's going to fall more towards the middle as he gets his deep third. So we can still bring the pressure off the edge, get a cover three, keep it all in front of us, and try to force a soft throw coming out of there to make something special happen. So either way, we've got either coverage that we can roll in with this pressure package and still be able to adjust very simply with our dog to make sure we've got enough people out there to cover their receivers. Another way we like to bring pressure from the outside, against the spread, and a lot of offensive attacks in general actually, is a double dog blitz. And again, as with others, or like with double buck, we can't just call a single dog, but we like to bring pressure a lot of times from both sides. Obviously, bringing both dogs is going to create the necessity to make some checks and make that buck check. Now, we especially like double dog against teams that are going to play a tight end in here. A lot of teams will do that. Even spread teams will play a tight end simply for protection reasons right here. But double dog, basically what we're going to get here is a pinch again up front. Our end's going to take the B gap. Nose is going to two gap right through here. We're going to bring both dogs off the edge. Now, again, we've got both cover three and cover one coverage options right here. We can be deep thirds. Going to be a little behind the eight ball right here, so he's going to have to widen. He's not going to be able to stay in here unless we're in boundary, unless this is into the boundary right here. But he's got to be ready to fall out right here, getting hooked to curl, and he'll leverage late to the flat if one of these break off. But again, keeping it in front of him, making it be a quick throw. Not necessarily going to be an easy throw with this dog coming from way out here, right in the line for him to throw a quick flat right here. We're going to have the same thing right here, fall into the middle right here if we have cover three drops with this. Most of the time we will be in a cover one with this, which we've seen a lot of today. Corner's going to get inside position, got number one manned up right here. If we've got a tight end, we're going to definitely let this bat cover that tight end man right here. Let him take the back. Now right here we've got a choice to make, and most times we would check buck right here. It still gives us outside pressure, but it gives us a better coverage situation right here, leaving him checking buck, which lets him know he's coming by himself on the outside, deep as the deepest hip. Still gives us the opportunity right there to have some help down the middle of the field right there, staying deep. Now we can walk that free down or cheat him over, still bring this in cover one, have him fly out on the snap, trail technique on him right there, and the free cheating over here to two if we feel like we're solid on our coverage over here. That really gives us two, bracking anything coming right up the seam here or route crossing coming to us that we can handle right there. Again, this would be something that we may go with into the boundary game planning, but this is an option for us to take these guys right here and him cheat over to help. Doesn't put him too much on an island, because obviously this inside linebacker isn't going to be a great man coverage guy. If he was, he'd probably be out here as a dog or a corner type guy. But he's got to be able to get out there, take any kind of quick throw on a look in or a seam right there. He's got to be buzzing to it, ready for it. Anything quick out right there, he's flying out there to get to it. Anything that's coming vertical that's not within the first 5-6 yards or steps or whatever, he's got help over the top here from this free, and he can simply stay underneath and trail and check in with what's going on there. But against that's how we would, or one way we can handle it if we got teams with a tight end. Now, if they're going to stay in a true spread type of situation or formation right here, then we're going to have to make the decision of whether or not we want to stay with the dogs bringing pressure, or if we want to keep one of them on there, play some straight man. Typically what we will do is play man and check buck on the weak side over here. So right here, we would check buck, leave him man, walk him up, give me the pressure right here, walk him down right here to play man, knowing he's gone and we've got quads. He's going to have help. Again, he's not going to roll right up on him. He's going to stay back a little bit. He's got help for any kind of quick look in right here from this bat coming out to him. And he'll take anything that gets a deep push right here, helping him out right there. But that's a check when we get a double set with 4 wides that we will check to. We'll make that buck check again to make sure we get a solid coverage situation. Now when we go to trips, again, we've got some choices in what we want to do to make sure we handle the situation and not put us in an unsound situation coverage-wise. We have double dog called here. Obviously, we've got 4 on this side. We cannot work the dog coming from the trip side. It's just not going to happen if we want to cover these guys. So we're going to have to make our buck check over here, bring him. Of course, we're going to have to pinch with it and 2-gapping right here, which is going to force us to roll him down if we've got a cover 1 called, spin right there. Now, obviously, if he's free, he's going to be dropping out, keying what's going on back here, back coming to him, he'll banjo. We've got man right there. So we've got everybody covered in a pretty good situation right here. We're going to get some center field help if we spin him, and everything, again, is kept in front of us. Another thing, if we want to keep pressure coming from both sides, we can buck check on both. What really turns into double buck force, which we saw a little bit earlier, right there. Gives us spin, gives us help back here, and again, gives us a good situation. Or, depending again on game plan, we can simply stay with it, play straight man, and stay with the dog coming off the weak side right there. Again, it just depends on what we want to do, what we're seeing, what the offense is trying to do against us as we've gone through the game and pre-game plan and game time adjustments. Got a double dog hinch. Free safety again has walked down. Dog's coming off the edge right here. We made a buck call down here and walked our buck down, so we had somebody in position to man cover right here. This was a game plan adjustment to what we would normally do. That's why we have our buck coming off the edge. The dog makes a nice play. They try to run the option back away from where the pressure's coming. In conclusion, I think we've shown you all some good things, how you can defend and bring pressure against spread offenses. A couple things just want to reemphasize to you as we finish up here today is, make sure when you're using this defense, again, make sure all your guys know the coverage responsibilities and how they will adjust. That's something we spend a lot of time on with our guys on the field, doing our cover down drills and stuff. Changing, giving them every possible situation so they know exactly with every piece of pressure where they're going to be, what's going to happen, how they might have to adjust. You cannot emphasize enough the importance of communication. That way everybody is on the same page and executing the pressure and the defense the way it's supposed to be done. The other is, one thing we didn't get into a whole lot with is have a plan to handle your rubs. Obviously, when people get the trips and it doubles, even you're going to get rubs, picks, whatever you want to call them. Routes going to be crossing, and your guys, especially when you're in man coverage, they're going to have to be able to handle them. We've done two things here in the past. We've stayed on them in man coverage. If you've got three, you've got three wherever he goes. Same, across the board. The other thing we've done, we do trade off our routes, but only if it happens within the first 5 yards or so. If it happens deeper than that, then we tend to stick with our guys. It's very important, and we talk to our guys about not lining up, especially against trips, on the same level, meaning that, your corner and your dog won't be aligned, side by side at the same distance off the line of scrimmage. That way it makes it harder to rub and pick off when you're trying to stick on your man. Another thing to emphasize and be prepared for is to have all your players understanding what the blitz is trying to accomplish and how the offense is likely going to adjust to it. Obviously, we talked about, your bats are not great man players, but you need to help them become as good as they possibly can be, because there's going to be times when they're going to have to cover the inside receiver and trips man. They're going to have to fall out and be prepared for that guy doing a quick look-in on a side adjust. And if he understands that, knows that, and is taught to anticipate the offense's reaction, then he can become a much better player and a much better man coverage player. The idea for him is that the pressure is working, he's not going to have to man cover real long. He's basically got to be in position for a side adjust and be able to be moving to the right spot if they do a check down outside to the flats, be able to react and make a play. And one thing, again, we emphasize every day from the first moment of practice on our defense, run to the ball every play. When the ball's thrown, plant your foot, whatever you're doing, and get to it and go make the play. A lot of times, thankfully not too many times, we'll have guys miss tackles or we have a coverage bust or whatever, but our team speed and our team hustle will overcome a bad situation simply because our guys are doing that. They're running to the ball, they're chasing, and they're making good things happen simply by great hustle and great desire to do well in the defense. But I want to thank you for your attention and for watching the video here today. Again, it's been a great defense for us, and please feel free to call or come down. We always love guests here in Milledgeville, and thank you again for your time.